that DJ Platter, a Platter DJs out there.
So I fucked up, and I didn't have the audio. I had these on, so I was hearing that the speaker wasn't on.
And Premier was on. My mom didn't listen because it's not like a world premiere, a movie or something like that, but it's still like your first. And I called him back, and I still haven't officially signed. I said, well, DJ Premier. Time no Kia phones was out, but I mean, trying to see pictures, like down with Premiere, and she was like, stop, put the phone away, she the one that actually reminded me about it, and I was like, you didn't bother me, and nothing like that, and then, when I heard the at the time, I wasn't really into that name, but I know that somebody like Kanye would be, and I didn't know that he had with RT, the technique of shooting and going out, which was real fun.
I don't know if that's
recording. Shout out to my man Willie Tony, man. He used to cut my hair, and just one of my homies that I met from Sacramento that went to college with us. In 1985, he told me, because I was there a year early, he came the following year. When I was taking golf, he was on the golf team, and he used to always say, man, I know he's young right now, but there's a black kid that's going to take over golf. Get out of here. He plays golf except for you. And he's like, no, I'm telling you, there's Tiger Woods, I'm telling you. And he's like, he's going to blow up, and he's always saying, and we were always laughing at him. And he was, boy, but we wrong. I mean, shout out to Willie Tony. As far as computer science, I mean, I just wanted anything that was close to anything electrical. Because since I was already good at taking things apart and doing the, installing everybody's car stereos, I was just feeling it precise and not even using a measuring, using a ruler. I could just figure it out. And I figured that was the closest thing to figure out I would have to fall back on. It's crazy because all the languages I learned, Fortran and COBOL and BASIC, none of them even exist anymore. But I figured once I graduate, I'll get a job and all that stuff. But then I met this MC that came to my school a year later as well. His name was Theo Campbell. He was a top skier. He saw always had the little thing, the medallion on, the chain, seeing people in Texas, unless it was people from Rap-A-Lot, they would meet. And with Rap-A-Lot, we see them with the big cables and the Benzes and the fly treat and feel-out suits and all this stuff. But to see somebody come to college dressed like that with the dope and sneakers and everything else, I gotta figure out who this kid is and where is he from? Boston. So they do it. Yeah, his mom, we went to Missouri City. We call it Mo City where we're from. And she's the one that obviously, I didn't go to, her mom got to go to school. And he was over there, he was on mic. And I would just start playing. I might be playing a breakbeat or something. He would get on the mic. Then he'd go, I'm going to turntable. I'm like, I'll scratch. You get on and start doing stuff, and I'm like, wow, this guy's good. He did it everything. Now we became a team, and we had two more, another MC named Sugar Pop, and we had a dancer that was like a Flavor Flav. His name was Styling T. Crazy, just crazy like Flav and just in tune everything. It was very unique, and we became the MCs in control.
And did you start making songs together?
Yeah, it was crazy because when I just packed up to move recently, I found my demo. Steve gave me my demo back that I sent him. And gave me the actual demo tape that I had it. I'm about to digitize it because they had all the demos that got me signed.
That's true. So I was curious about that. I understand you worked at a record store while you were in college.
Yeah.
Taking moisture of a capital Make for every color of moisture. So you can damage clothes, materials, internal quality, moisture and fit. Awesome hair for everyone.
Chevy Trucks. More dependability awards for trucks than any other brand. And Chevrolet.
But somehow, in the pre-internet age, you and the making of them makes its way from outside Houston all the way to Stu Fine and New York Wild Pitch Records in the office. How does that happen?
When I got the job at it's called Soundwave, the most popular store in Houston. If you want to find what you're looking for, New York Soundwave is the chain. But Soundwave is right there, directly across the street from the Astrodome and Astroworld. So it's just a lot of traffic going that way. The Astroworld's always busy. The Astrodome's always busy with sports or any event. And it's also a street called South Main and Merworth, which also had one of the big art tunnel. It was called the Rhinestone Lane. There's a major history there. And we said that was the go-to club if you wanted to be down with what's really hot. And then every DJ that worked at any club and if anything for the Rhinestone Lane for me, are people that talking on the street worked at the Rhinestone Lane as the main DJ. So I got all access. Then no call up, just started going because we got cool out there. We call us me and Top changing the prices on the records because the price tag was easy to pick off. You know, you could peel it. $2.99. $1.99. It's changing. Carlos is peeping us in the back doing it. We're just like, be careful after he's watching. Just keep peeling it. I go up there like 10 records. Carlos already saw what we were doing. Now we're at the counter. He goes, yo, man, these are not $1.99. I'm like, yeah, you know, and I'm all cocky. Yo, man, whatever's on the price is what we paying. You know, acting all rowdy and stuff. He's like, hey, I'm the one that puts the prices on those. I know that's not the right price. You fix us the price gun. You know, we being an asshole. Top doing the same thing. Yeah, whatever's on there, what we pay. I'm going to look at see it again. Whatever's on there, even if the stickers change, I'm charging the real price. Fine. You know, and then Carlos sees us. Started a conversation. We got cool. So many records in New York. Because back then, all the records had a phone number on the bottom. And you could call the order and you couldn't really get it from a distributor. So, unless it was a local distributor that did it with your hours with Southwest Wholesale. Carlos was the 12-inch buyer. Once he got me a job there, he became, Billboard was just on the rap chart. So he became the reporter for that region of the South to report what's popping and what's selling. He was like, man, you gotta check out this dude. He was super on to talk about it. In my records.
So through that, he started to meet people in New York.
Yeah. and he had the Gangstar 12 that was called Bust the Move Boy. And to be a champion, 45 King produced it, and I was already in the 45 King because Latifah and Lati, which is Apache brother, against Apache, and then obviously when came out, Latifah said, Latifah's kicking crazy, you know, I knew she was talking about Lati. And I really like the Wild Pitch logo. I was like the really independent, especially Scooby-Doo with PSK on it itself. But the Wild Pitch logo looked unique. Then they had Gangstar, Chill Rock G, and Lati at the time. And he had all those records that he missing in the band. I said, how did you get all these? He said, well, I did an order. And the Southwest and this come in and I always say it for somebody I don't know. So like 3 of them, see if I can sell them. If I can sell them, and then I'll order more. And I was like, well, man, I can tell you it's hot in New York. I had mixtapes when I would go. Not the mixtapes, I was taking the mix when I would go to New York, back and forth.
So you're just taking the radio.
I taking Red Alert, Chuck Shit Out of Mario, and Magic. And just putting it over that. And I'd be like, this is my MC Shannon. He would order and he would get the 12 inch. He was like, man, I was like, I'd love to work here. Got me the job. I started people doing the car stereo, bass, everything. And we had a bass bumper. In that era in the 80s, the kids that were trusting based off of they had a basement, they and they go, hey dog, got basement. I'm like, yeah. See him maybe the next weekend. Dude, that ultimate minute. Jam. That's what they say in Texas. It's dope with this jam. That's it. Jam. You got any more bass? People overseeing Texas. Well, you know, they was probably people they never heard. Everybody heard of Public Enemy. Everybody heard of Rndmsht. But these in-between groups, like people overseeing Texas, was ultimate mitigation. They were just like trusting me. And I put them on a Too Short. I learned about Too Short because I was going to college and all my West Coast friends like, this is what's bumping me. That's how I started. And I would just keep selling them. Everybody about to got to that point. And now the Billboard reporting goes on with cars. Reporting that Stu was calling to see how I was. He's like, man, this guy's coming. He really got different, man. He's like different. What's his name? And you know, tell him to go to contact. He heard I did it. He said, I like you. I don't like you. I'm like, well, I'm not going anywhere with that. And they wanted me.
I was just saying, so you are synonymous with Gangstar. You actually were part of the collaboration of people.
We were called in Season Control. I don't know why we changed our name to the Inner Circle Posse.
This is you and Top.
Yeah, well, me, Top, Sugar Pop, and Stolly, but then as it came to making the demos, we got locked up with them on it, but the demo that went to New York was just me and Top. And our dancer, HL, he was like the additional flavor, but he could also dance his ass off. To this day. And he's actually with me the day I took my truck and said, I'm gone, mom and dad, I'm out. And he rode with me the whole way.
Oh, you packed up and you drove from
Control over there in a Nissan pickup.
Some records got damaged on them.
We shot up in like 95, go towards Florida, and shot straight up the coast. It rained, I don't know, not even light rain, cats and dogs rain.
And you had them in the back?
Everything in the back, no cover. I had every box still because it's like invaluable. They all stuck together. But everything got damaged. You know, some didn't. But through all of that, a lot of good records came out of it. You know, Question Remains and Nas is like, you know, North and Ness. You know, some stuff came out of those corny boxes.
I'm curious, so, you know, while you're in Houston, you're making the Cuddy This demo, you're listening to all the stuff that Mario's doing, like Triple D and Shane and all that.
Shantae.
How are you figuring out technically what he's doing or what hip hop producers are doing as you're trying to make the first record?
One of the summers that I came up with, right before I came in the Stu put us in the studio and said, look, still not doing MC, we got to on a 4-track, and we got to get our 4-track because when I moved to East New York to stay, one of my college buddies who I met in college, and then his brother came the following year. That's how I ended up. My grandfather was sick at the time, so I couldn't stay with him. We stayed with the Franklin family, their Trinidadian family, that lived right there across from the project. And I stayed with them, and then we'd always go back to school. During that time, they had a neighbor, next door neighbor named Ian Skeet. Skeet would never use his 4-track, and I would update my demos, updating them. And Stu was like, this still sound amazing, but his voice is just not working. I'm gonna put him and do the same record.
So you're looping
Looping on turntable.
no drum machine. Oh, so no drum machine at all.
Nah, just you do it for like 5 minutes, and the next track, 2 tracks left. Now it need vocals, and then I might do one where I might put a sound or a chord. That's it. And that's the demo that he was like, I'm gonna put you in a real studio, you do the exact same demo. And if I like Todd, I'll be interested in possibly signing him. He did it in a real studio, real mics, and he was like, and I was like, he said Google was looking for a new DJ at the time because the other 2 members were having it out and then not wanting to stay in New York and struggle it out. So he's like, well, Gangstar is my name and Big Shug's name. Demo and he heard Lord Finesse's demo. That's how Lord Finesse got signed 2 hours got to a point where Top was just frustrated with how long it was taking, and he said, man, I'm going to the military. And I was there when the recruiting officer came and got me. So now that he's gone, I called Stu and said, hey man, Top just went to the military for 4 years, and I'm by myself. He's like, you got to Gangstar. And he said, we want those same songs that we had before, that we want those too. He'll just alter it and do like his own rhymes. And one of them was Words I Manifest.
Wow.
Well, yeah, that's the first one I made for him. And he's like, I already got around into it, and I had to go back to school. And I remember he's like, yo, Craig G is here. I had never met a hip-hop artist yet, so I was a Juice Fruit fan. And he's like, yo, man, Craig G is here and just heard my rhyme. I'm like, hey, can I talk to him on the phone? I'm like a kid.
Gillette Clinical has twice the sweat-fighting ingredients. Gillette Antiperspirant.
Let's take it on.
Like for something crispy, a little chocolatey, and a lot of peanut butter. Oh, we have a snack for you. Nice crispy, sweet, chocolatey peanut butter. When vacation calls, Emergency supports your immune system with so much more than vitamin C. Be ready to dive in with Emergency. And for on-the-go immune support, try Emergency Crystals. No water needed.
This isn't really shopping. This is beyond shopping.
Alright, fuck it.
This is finding.
He's like, yo, man, that beat is hot. You can call
So
him.
we got
Put it out and came out.
I know that there was one point in that period where you're coming up to New York where you were able to give the demo to Marley Marl. And he is kind of like unimpressed by it. And then of course, 6 months later, he premieres What That Manifest on the radio. And I'm curious, as a young, impressionable creative, what was first that feeling of being told by one of your idols that you're not quite there yet?
Yeah.
And then, what was that validation like when you get the cosign?
Yeah, when Marley he would do a show at noon, every Monday through Friday, then yeah, on Wednesday they had radio day. And you could actually come up there and give them your tape. So I was like, I'm going to radio day. Yeah, I know I'm getting a deal. Prior to that, I got to shout out to Legend, and he's still one of my engineers to this day, King of Chill. He produced all the audio to MC Light, Positive K, and on and on. He was in the Alliance. So dope coming in, shouted them out at the Rock Hall of Fame. And so I met King of Chill first, so really before Wild Pitch, my first meeting was at first priority. I got to meet Matt. And I was like, oh, and he got to his house in Staten Island. You know, they were off in Brooklyn, but he had a house in Staten Island. I'm like, since King of Chill was co-signing me, I know it. And that was not until I did I was just so hurt. And then I went to Radio Day. It was prior to Wild Pitch. But Radio Day, I'm on everywhere. The Next Black Soul, Profile, Def Jam, everywhere, you know, and we get there to Radio Day, and I'll just never forget. I think I've told him in another interview, but when that door, well, first of all, the elevator, it's a little small waiting area. The elevator opens, and Heavy D is standing there. And we're leaning against a wall, and if you're leaning against a wall, the way to the elevator is literally this close to you. So to see it open this close, probably about really close to where you're sitting, and to see Heavy D standing there, and when it opens real slow, and I'm just like, he had on gray, and then he on a gray zip up, and gray sweater, and a big fat cable tucked, but it was bulging out around his neck, and I was like, that's Heavy D. And he said, what's up there, brother? And he shook my hand. As soon as he shook my hand, the side door opened where they broadcast. And Molly Ma opened the door and said, is that you, open waiter? Just like that. And he goes, Biz is on his way. And we don't know what the fuck is going on. And Biz is on his way, and we're going to the studio. And I'm just like, they gonna do it. Boom. And Molly was always known for playing exclusives, even if it's stuff he's working on, just to test it out. That Friday when we take the show, I was still in New York at the time before I go back to school. He puts on rewrite the songs, and you know, just a demo version of it. Didn't have all the extras in it yet. I was like, that's what they were gonna do. We didn't, you know, hear him and Biz rhyming. God bless Biz and her, man. You know, so then I gave him my tape. I had one of those memorettes that was like pink, yellow, and with the little design of those. Then I gave it to him, and he took it. I went back to Radio Day that next week. I said, hey, did you hear it? And he goes, and instead of going, yeah, I didn't like it, whatever, he did this. And gives it back to him and goes, I was like, fuck. You know, but, and I was like, I'm gonna make another one. Made another demo. And did it again.
Damn.
Gave it to him again. He was like, and then I remember my mom was like, hey, you got some mail in Texas, what should I do with it? I said, who's it from? She said, Profile? I said, Ma, that might be a record deal. She goes, you want me to open it? I said, yeah. And my cassette tape giving it back. Saying thank you. But reading that, I was like, you know, label Rndmsht and Dang a Dang, and you know, there's all this stuff. And no go. So I'm like, let's make another demo.
But you never got down or discouraged.
Nah, that's not me. I'm never a quitter. And I made another one. That's the one that got to Wild Pitch. And Stu was like, yo, we really like this. And, you know, but we only want you. And that's why I was like, well, until you either take me and Top or you don't take that, I passed on Simon. Once Top left, and I said, hey, I'm available, and me and Groove started to build with each other, and we did the first album together. I didn't know how to make beats sharp yet, so it was me, Slow-Mo Sonnenfeld, who owned the studio, Such a Sound, and the three of us were gonna speak for a minute. I'll be like, I'll be the snare, and we'd be side by side, and I'll go, I'll go, hit that.
Damn, that was weird, bro. It just got out on me for no reason.
Sounds good, high five. Boom, let's see that. All right, you feel that? That's how we did the first album. And then it's a nice guy. And once I seriously to learn, because Wu said, you're not getting past the money, you're just gonna slap on the album. You gotta know how to produce, and know that there's a producer and you actually do, that you do the tracks and mix it and let's mix it. And
So up until that point, you knew what it was to be a DJ. You knew you wanted to be a part of the scene. But you weren't thinking of enthusiasm and just like, I'll just figure it out, whatever it is.
yeah, I just came back from Israel. I haven't seen Slow-Mo movie in Israel now. I haven't seen Slow-Mo in over 20-something years. Probably 25 years. And I told him I was coming to Israel to do a gig. He told me that I had to go to Saudi Arabia, and my man just picked up a gig on the way. He's like, yo, on the way back, you want to pick up another gig? And I'm like, where? He said, Israel. Yeah, I've never been. I'll go. So Slow-Mo's like, maybe we can finally reconnect. Called Slow-Mo, he said, yeah, man, I'll take care of you. And he took care of us. We were all over town, had good food, and digging at the record store. And Slow-Mo was like, man, I remember the first time you wanted to fight me when you came in, you brought your turntables and a coffin. And I thought in the studio, you set it up, and do it like the way you did the 4-track demos. And I remember, and Slow-Mo very cocky, he'd be like, you don't need that thing right now. You don't need that,
man. What the fuck?
You set that up later. Like, who the fuck you talking to? And I'm setting my shit up now. He was like, that's not how it goes in the studio. You can lay the tracks down. You do your scratch and last. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. But I saw him in there like, man, I can set this shit up. Just play myself. So once I started to understand the process of making records, now I'm like, okay. Then we started to really hone in on learning everything, mixing. If I wanted to do an echo there, or I wanted to do a delay here, what's doing that? And same thing with the equipment. We didn't turn on out on the news while I was still here before I was going back to school. And they showed Molly Mall and then saying, I had the top of your song, back on station and this and that. And they showed the equipment on the wall. I said, that's the 900. That's the song that's what I need. Because I didn't know how to work it yet, but I knew that's what he was using the new stuff. And I had seen Bobby has one. Like that's what I need. I gotta get that. Figure out where I get that from. I didn't get one for almost another 2 years. But once I got one, then stepping in the arena, I started really tap everything out, and I had a sound that's my sound, and I started working on my sound. Come back to we did the operation, that's when I got a sound. Now I was really well into it, just kind of chill. Just let me come to his mom's house to learn it. She's like, I got one that you can learn on. She got one on drum machine. So I bought the little lesson drum machine. She go to King of Chill's house in Crown Heights and at his mom's house. And he just let me practice on it, and then I finally started to tap out with the beats to it where I was like, I'm definitely got it now. The last beat I ever made, I used his mom's house, and that's good. So check out this beat, I think it's gonna be a hit. Played it for him, and then one of my biggest hits off of it.
Yeah, so, perfect record.
Yeah, it's crazy how things work.
Beautiful performance. That's why I love how this works. It's off the technique and you be ready.
So you joined Gangstar and now you and Duo are partners. Did you sit down and talk about how business was going to work, or like how you guys were going to function, what the economics of it were going to be, or any of that kind of stuff?
The fact that we were both college educated and both, grew up with our parents, we already knew the basics, how to balance checking account. We both
you gotta decide.
The same bank account until we started in like 2004, like we were doing our own thing. But prior to that, we've always spent the same thing account. So it was never a non-understanding of how that.
Fuck, I want one more pad.
If we had $150,000 same account, but he might want to take $5 grand out of cash in pocket. Then I could take $5 out to balance it, or not. But being it's a loan, if you're a business officer, then I either leave mine in there or we offset the account by saying, well, you're not going to put that $5 back. We'll offset it to me. We did that all the time. We lived together from 1988 all the way to we lived together from 1988 to 1994 when Hard Island dropped. That was the first time we finally got our own place. And at that time, we had three. We had one in Miami. Me with Vanilla Ice, he was a big deal at that time. He had one on J Street in Brooklyn with Tilly. And he had that one 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We were not making millions. And we
tried to drop on me.
Just that comfortable with how we did everything. And I had a massive crew. Taking care of everybody at the bar and all that type of stuff, and it was just a fun career. We did all the fighting and getting us picking up the nonsense. All we did was to make bangers.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, you guys obviously go from being perfect strangers to now, big group, and then roommates within a few months.
12, 13, 14. I don't know why it does that. It'll drop one of the chops out.
Anytime you're in a creative partnership like that, particularly when you're sharing space on top of that.
And it did. It dropped another one out.
First of all, how did you sort of navigate that relationship, and then also how did the friction, interpersonal friction, manifest in the creativity and in the work?
Really, anytime we would fight over stuff, it'd be stuff that was nonsense. And people started doing, even if we went down to review of us, we'd say, do the premiere, did it once again, something like that. They always just bring this up. They always bring New York too. And then on top of that, everybody that knows me in my history, every shot that I ever made was made while you came, like at a restaurant. You order it, cook it, serve it. I never had Nas and Biggie beats set aside that could have gone to Gang Star, and then I just gave them to them. And he said, I don't even make them till you get there to make sure you show up. Once you show up, so there was never anything that you would say, you had some of your illest records, and you just tried to get them, but then you never created. And that's still my formula now. Me and my management, we was like, the new world of it started. And people started making beats, CDs, and you had 10, like the number 6 and number 4. Now it's like that, and I was like, I've never done that. Now I do that stuff in the stash. You get a specific artist. I may make a part of music. You need to take it down. Just for her in mind. And she ever tell you, I made another. And same thing with any of the artists in the generation. With the artists that already get how I do it, I still get the same way. I need to come show up. You like this one, go on the booth and look late. So with Groove, that was one thing that used to bother me. And plus, with his alcoholism, it intensified even more. But one thing